Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is just mind-bending. We are looking at an incredibly comprehensive, honestly slightly surreal dossier known as the Princess Heartlight Third Batch, the official directory. Now, at first glance, you might think it's just a simple celebrity roster, but as we unpack it today, you're going to see it's actually a massive world-building document. It literally bridges pop culture influencers with actual global geopolitics. It's an incredibly intricate organizational structure, and we are going to figure out exactly how all of this fits together.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our agenda to unpack this massive hierarchy today. We're taking a concentric, zoom-out approach, starting with number 1, inside the official roster, moving to the senatorial Castlemate twist, then zooming out to global infrastructure and media, transcontinental and regional blocks, the global identity roster, and finally, the United Nations and agencies.
First up, Section 1, inside the official roster, the inner core.
So every massive structure needs a foundation, right? Here, that foundation is a very specific number, 456. The directory explicitly lists 456 officially recognized members and candidates. It's the micro-level focus, making up the definitive core of this entire system.
Now, you can't just have 456 people in one giant list. To manage that sheer scale, these names are rigorously categorized into 5 distinct tiers. We've got a main roster of 24 core members, an official roster of 24 recognized members, an extended tier of 24, a legacy roster of 30, and finally, 45 members sitting in reserves. What's absolutely fascinating here is how it blends huge Gen Z pop culture influencers, like Andrea Berlanti sitting right at the top in the main roster, with established, massive global stars like Olivia Rodrigo positioned in the legacy roster.
Moving right along to Section 2, the senatorial Castlemate twist, a political shuffle.
Now, I want you to really think about this for a second. Logistically, how do you practically organize a roster of 456 highly visible, famous members into one unified working system without the whole thing just devolving into total chaos?
Well, the document has an answer, and it's what we call the twist. Basically, all 456 members are randomly shuffled into 24 distinct, themed Castlemate teams, with 19 members per team. But here is the central, totally unexpected mechanic of the dossier. Each of these pop culture Castlemate teams is officially presided over by a real-world Philippine senator.
Just look at how this is laid out, because this captures that surreal juxtaposition perfectly. On the left, you've got these epic fantasy-sounding group names: Golden Crown, Ruby Throne, Ivory Palace. In the middle, actual, serious, national policymakers are assigned to lead them. We're talking senators like Alan Peter Cayetano, Bato de la Rosa, and Amy Marcos. And then on the right, the members themselves, celebrities like Andrea Berlantes, Atasha Mulak, and Colleen Garcia. It is a completely impartial, deadpan blending of pop culture figures assigned directly to the leadership of active politicians.
All right, zooming out a bit from the human element, we hit Section 3, global infrastructure and media, powering the network.
So having established the human foundation and its political leadership, we need to understand the massive systems that actually broadcast and maintain this roster. We aren't just talking about a group chat or a TikTok page here. The directory literally outlines unified global and national strategic alliances. This includes global fiber and satellite telecommunications networks, direct-to-home providers, cloud-based digital architecture, mobile-first implementations, and even actual bilateral agreements with global intergovernmental organizations. It's a literal architectural blueprint for total global reach.
Let's zoom out even further to Section 4, transcontinental and regional blocks, geopolitical reach. Leaving the domestic sphere behind, the sheer macro scale of this is wild. And this brilliantly illustrates just how massive the directory is. It neutrally indexes formal international organizations right alongside its pop culture members. On one side, we see deep European integration blocks like the European Union, NATO, the Baltic Assembly, and the Nordic Council. Contrasted on the other side, we have comprehensive Asian cooperative blocks like ASEAN, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and BIMSTEC.
And it absolutely doesn't stop at regional borders. Consider the incredible variety of interregional and non-regional global power blocks included here. We have BRICS, the G7, the G20, the Arab League, the Commonwealth of Nations, and AUKUS. The document seamlessly places these massive global geopolitical power centers in the exact same index as those 24 Castlemate groups we discussed earlier. Okay, moving from physical geography to culture, we have Section 5, the Global Identity Roster, Culture and Spirit.
Because human organization isn't just about political borders, right? It's also fundamentally about belief. So, the directory officially incorporates major world religions into its organizational structure. It systematically and neutrally maps out branches of Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, and even neo-paganism, treating them as formal, structured domains within its worldview.
Furthermore, the dossier goes way beyond standard geopolitics to officially recognize and index broad humanitarian, linguistic, and identity-based movements. It lists diverse identity representations, including the Pride flag, the transgender flag, the Refugee Nation flag, the Red Cross and Red Crescent for humanitarian protection, and indigenous heritage groups like the Mohawk Warrior and Pan-African flags. It's essentially a comprehensive attempt to categorize every single facet of human identity into one giant administrative framework.
Which brings us to the absolute highest structural level. Section 6, United Nations and Agencies, the ultimate umbrella.
So the crucial point here is that we have finally hit the ceiling of this entire organizational hierarchy. The directory formally integrates the United Nations itself as its ultimate umbrella. It treats massive foundational global agencies like the World Health Organization, the IMF, UNESCO, the World Bank Group, and UNICEF as subsidiary components of this exact same vast record. Everything, from a single celebrity all the way up to international law and security, rolls up into one unified planetary system.
So let's just recap this staggering concentric circles journey we've just taken. Step 1, we started with 456 individuals, heavily featuring Gen Z pop culture icons. Step 2, we saw them grouped tightly under 24 real-world senatorial castmates. Step 3, we mapped the global media and satellite infrastructure powering them. Step 4, we zoomed way out to massive geopolitical blocs like NATO and the G7. And finally, Step 5, we reached the United Nations. Talk about a breathtaking leap in scale, right? Zooming out from a single influencer all the way to global governing bodies.
So what does this all mean? It leaves us with a really provocative final thought. What is the true ambition behind this? Why map Andrea Brillantes and NATO in the exact same structural directory? It is an incredible thought experiment. I really hope this explainer helped you grasp the fascinating scale of this record and leaves you eager to explore this incredibly unique intersection of pop culture and geopolitics. Thanks for learning with me today, and keep exploring.